we are going to see about each and every part of the transformer. So as and when you have any queries, please you can stop me there, then and there, and you can ask your queries. Okay. So first one is core, and as I told, if you the core has two losses, hysteresis and eddy current loss, right? So if you want to minimize the hysteresis and eddy current loss, we'll be using the core made up of silicon steel. So you will be manufacturing the core based on silicon steel to minimize eddy current and hysteresis loss, and you are going to laminate the core. You're going to divide the core into each subdivision, and you're going to laminate them so that you can minimize eddy current loss. Okay, when you laminate each portion of your core, you are going to prevent closed loop from forming, and so eddy currents will be very less in number. Okay, and all the laminates are pressed together using rods so that there is minimum air gap. And two types of transformer cores are possible. From the diagram, manufacturing diagram, you can see two types of transformer cores. First one is core type transformer. Core type transformer is it's a usual type. You have a rectangular core and you have a hollow air gap inside. You can see. So this is your rectangular core and this is your air gap. Okay, this portion is filled with air. So it's a hollow core, and the upper portion of your core will have your secondary winding, and lower portion of your core will have your primary winding. You see, primary and secondary are not touching here. So this is called as a core type transformer, where you have a hollow rectangular core, and in the core, upper part is reserved for a secondary and lower part is reserved for a primary. And this flux inside the core is going to link your primary and secondary windings. Okay, this flux is going to link your primary and secondary windings. So this is your core type transformer. And generally inside the flux, if you see, the low voltage windings will be close to your flux, and high voltage windings will be away from the core. That is the terminology followed. So if this is the actual diagram, and if you can map what is the high voltage and low voltage windings, you can see this diagram. So the general logic what they follow is always the low voltage windings are close to the core, and high voltage windings are away from the core. You see here, in this case, the low voltage windings are close to the core, and high voltage windings, this one and this one, stay away from the core. Okay. This is a high voltage winding, and this is a high voltage winding. Two high voltage windings are going to stay away from the core. So the windings are windings will almost cover your core, and half it you are dividing the core into two. Upper half is going to be for my secondary winding, and lower half is going to be for my primary winding. So that is done here. So this is done to reduce the flux leakage. So we want maximum coupling to happen, right? So if you want to reduce the flux leakage, you have to utilize the entire area of the core effectively. So the LV winding is low voltage winding is always present near the core, and high voltage winding is present always away from the core. And why we are doing this? Doing this to minimize the cost of insulation. So to insulate both the windings, we are going to place this arrangement like this way. So they have experimented different methods, and having LV winding near the core and having HV winding away from the core is going to serve some purpose. And what is the purpose? It is going to minimize the cost of insulation. Okay, it is going to minimize the cost of insulation. So total flux phi you have, that is going to circulate inside your core, and any input given to primary, it is going to be coupled magnetically to the secondary. Okay, that is your core type transformer. Second one is shell type transformer. So second one is shell type transformer. So see here, in shell type transformer, this core is going to have two hollow gaps. See, this is one portion where you have an air gap, and this is one portion where you have the air gap. So the core is going to have two hollow portions. So it is going to have three limbs. So previously, see, the previous case, you're going to have only two limbs. I told you limb is your vertical portion. So previously, you have only two limbs, but now you see the shell is going to have three limbs. One, two, and three. So I'm going to have three limbs, and both the windings are placed on the central limb. So you see here, the central limb limb will have both primary and secondary on the central limb. So V1 is definitely should be a primary because I told you suffix 1 is primary and suffix 2 is secondary, right? So both the windings are placed on the central limb, and these are going to then the other the other cases are going to surround a considerable portion of your winding. Okay, so the both the windings are present on a single limb only. So other two limbs are going to be relatively free. They don't have any windings. So the flux, see here, since you have since you have both the windings in the single limb, the total flux will be available only in the single limb. So only in this limb you will have the total flux, and that will be splitting it into as 5/2 and 5/2 across the other two limbs. Okay, but there in the previous case, you see the total flux is going to be 5. It is not going to split anywhere. But since out of the three limbs you are using only one limb, the total flux in the central limb is going to be 5. And the total the flux, this flux is going to divide equally into 5/2 and 5/2 and available in the other two limbs also. Okay, and see here the arrangement of LV and HV is alternatively LV, HV, LV, HV followed by that. Always LV should be near your core. That is the logic. See, you can ask why is this arrangement is done. See, this has been tried out by different combinations of placing LV near the core, HV near the core, and they found that low voltage winding near the core and high voltage winding away from the core is going to give the efficient functioning of transformer. So that's why they go for this arrangement. Okay, so in the core type transformer, you see the flux is going to have a single path. We have seen the flux is going to have a single path, but here the flux is going to divide equally into two paths because only in one limb I'm going to have both the primary and secondary winding. See, in the previous case, you see in both the limbs I'll be having both the windings. But here in only one limb I am having both the windings. Other two limbs are relatively going to be free. So this main flux is produced only in the central limb. It is going to divide equally into 5/2 and 5/2 across the other two limbs. So the shell type is so there is more space. See, everything is windings are placed on the central limb. So the shell type is that is going to transformer is going to have more amount of huge space, free space that is going to be used for insulation. And this insulation is going to be advantageous me when I'm going to operate the transformer for high voltages. On the other hand, shell type construction is more economical for low voltage. Okay, so core type transformer is preferred for high voltage, and shell type transformer is preferred for low voltage. So high voltage requires more coupling, which is available in core type transformer. Almost these two limbs are completely filled with the windings, correct? But in shell type, you have more amount of space remaining, so I can use this for low voltages. Okay, so I can use this for low voltages. So these are the two types of core a transformer can have. So I think core is the main thing of the transformer because it is going to link your flux from primary to secondary, right? So having the windings and all, we will not be studying about the winding. We will not be studying about the oil and other things because those are very minor portions. Our main aim is going to be designing the perfect core